We're standing back in a spot right here where we sprayed off a week ago. It's about an acre, acre and a half. And guys, fertilization is key to making sure that you're gonna have a good, successful food plot. I can't stress enough about getting soil tests done and making sure that your soil is adequate to grow the things you want to grow. One of the most difficult things to do sometimes is spreading fertilizer when you have to get back to these areas where you don't have good access. Here, we've got a Moose fertilizer spreader. This fertilizer spreader is one of the best ones that I've personally used. They built this thing correctly. You know, this unit here is super heavy duty. Sometimes some of the fertilizer spreaders I've used in the past have really thin metal brackets. They're just not strong enough. And when you start driving back to these areas and the Ranger's bouncing around and this is full of fertilizer, the brackets end up getting bent and they just don't hold up. A couple of features I really like about this particular spreader as well is they used a good aluminum housing here. And when you start spreading things like urea, it's highly corrosive. And I'm telling you, if you don't take care of your equipment, a lot of times what ends up happening is it just ends up rusting out and you end up having nothing but a piece of junk. This particular spreader, they did it right. Aluminum, so that's not gonna rust for sure. You always wanna take care of your motor. There's always some metal parts down here in the motor. I always try to keep this clean when I store it. But this little spreader here is ideal for situations where you have to spread a lot of material. We got our soil tests back. And on this particular field, we're gonna be planting brassicas, okay? I like to always put down at least 100 pounds per acre of urea to really help boost my brassicas. Brassicas really seem to like urea or nitrogen, and that's what we're gonna do here. So we've got 2 bags of urea we're gonna be putting down. We also found out that our pH was slightly low, came in around it was like a 6.8. We wanna raise that. Generally, I like to put down at least 300 to 400 pounds to be able to get that pH to move to about, you know, a 7.2. So about a half a point. Now, if your pHs get too low, you have to add a significantly more amount of material. But in this case here, 300 to 400 pounds is what we're gonna put down. We got about an acre, acre and a quarter here. So let's go ahead and get this fertilizer loaded up and see how well this spreader does. We've got our line put into the spreader. Now, this particular unit also works great on 4-wheelers. It comes with some brackets that you basically can mount right in the back of the 4-wheeler. In this case here, I don't own a 4-wheeler. We're using a Ranger. I just built up some wood and I actually screwed my brackets right to the wood. This way I can take this whole unit out and set it out of here when I'm not using it. Runs off of a simple 12-volt battery. Let me show you that. It's got great controls. So all you need to do here is hook up your battery. Now this is an electric Ranger. You could just put in a cigarette lighter for this unit and plug it directly into here, but I don't want to drain any additional battery than we have to. It's got a great control unit. It's got a nice adjustment here for setting how much fertilizer you want to be spread. Simple on and off switch. So basically what I always do is I set up a grid pattern, drive back and forth, and start spreading my fertilizer. If you're looking for a good spreader, you can't beat this one by Moose. It's high quality plastic, it's got a great motor, easy to use, the electronics were simple to set up. More importantly, I like the fact that they used some metal that can actually handle all the beating around that these units take when you're actually spreading the material. So there you have it. If you're looking for a great spreader to put, whether it be fertilizer or any kind of seed, this is the one to choose.